Okay, so what matters to you is the cost. Well, what about the cost of the rest of the world? The biofuel idea is all well and good, but what about the fields that are being turned over to it, which could otherwise be used to produce food, to feed a world that is right now in the grip of a world food price crisis? Like, did you know that biofuels have driven up world food prices by 75%? And did you know that every day 16,000 children starve to death? That's one every 5 seconds. And another one. And another one. Ugh, this is insane. Don't get me started on some of these wars for oil that always seem to be cropping up. Like, why is mankind so selfish? There are people out there dying because we want to be able to fill up our cars to go on shopping trips. It's just not fair. So, you probably think that I'm against biofuels, right? Well, I might be able to surprise you there. If you look beyond all the headlines, you might find out that scientists are working on things called second-generation biofuels. The good thing about that is that they don't need to use food crops to produce them. The way they work is that some types of algae produce vegetable oil, apparently, and this can be made into biodiesel as per normal, which is very nice. At the moment, scientists are very close to being able to upscale this to an industrial level, so maybe, just maybe, we can work this out without stealing food from the poorest people in the world. I think that governments should stop wasting money on things like weapons of destruction and that sort of thing. They need to make sure that we feed the world's population, and they need to invest in second-generation biofuels. If we don't, then we're all going to be in a lot of trouble in the future.
Hang on, you're telling me that using used chip fat in my car, which would, let's face it, just gone in the drain or in the bin or something like that, which is recycling, is bad for the environment? Come on, this stuff would have been chucked away, I would have brought diesel, that would have been using up the oil, which they're always telling us oil reserves are going down. I'm helping the environment. What's going on? This stuff blooming marvellous, let's face it. I mean, I'm saving a pretty penny. Everyone's happy.
Absolute pugwash. Run your car and use chip fat from your mate's chippy? Good grief. When your car becomes a write-off because there was some wastewater in the fuel, or because you got some old potato stuff made from bad feedstock, don't come crying to me about it. You get what you pay for, and in your case, knock off chip fat with lumps in it. In my case, you get proper quality tested and assured diesel. And that goes for regular biodiesel as well. You have no idea where it's been and what it's got in it. And another thing, if I were you, I would check your warranties on your vehicles. Vehicle manufacturers won't look too kindly on you if you've blown a gasket after you've been running it on biofuel of thoroughly dubious pedigree made in a grubby peasant's backyard.
This is all a matter of great debate among scientists. I study the atmosphere in my research, and the burning of any kind of fuel produces various pollutants that end up in the air. The Earth's atmosphere is in a delicate state of balance, and the incredible rate that we've been burning fossil fuels over the last 50 years is generally considered to have caused the entire planet to warm up. In theory, biodiesel is a carbon neutral fuel because the carbon dioxide produced when we burn it is absorbed by the plants that we grow in order to make more biodiesel. However, our work shows that the carbon dioxide emitted during the farming of these crops, the growing them, the collecting them, refining the fuel and transporting it, is actually rather large and seriously undermines biodiesel's credibility as a carbon neutral fuel. Beyond that, we have also identified that more nitrogen oxides are produced in the emissions of vehicles running on biodiesel compared with vehicles running on regular diesel. Our verdict is this: biofuels are not the answer, I'm afraid. We've been abusing our atmosphere for too long. Now it's time to make a change. What we really need to be doing is reducing the amount of fuel we burn and moving on to cleaner, more efficient sources of energy, such as the hydrogen fuel cell. If we want to leave behind a nice, clean atmosphere for our children, now is the time when we need to be making some big changes to how we source our energy and the amount of it we use.
Remember that I said there were lots of strong arguments? Now you know what I mean. It's easy to be convinced by people, but you've got to remember that you need to use your own scientific knowledge to make up your own mind. Even that isn't easy though. It seems fairly certain that global warming is happening and we should be doing something to stop it. I've spent my career trying to make petrol and diesel better, cleaner fuels for vehicles. Some people would say that I'm trying to solve the problem. Others would say I'm an integral part of the problem. But one thing I do know is that things cannot stay as they are. Biofuels look good on paper, especially second generation ones that don't impact on food supplies. But are they really the answer? Only time will tell. Hydrogen and fuel cells, they also sound great and may well hold the key to unlocking a sustainable future. We definitely need more investment though if we're going to develop the technology needed. Between you and me, I think that the billions of dollars my company are making at the moment because of high oil prices should be going into this sort of research, but somehow I don't see that happening. I do worry that because oil equals easy profit, we're going to end up pumping every last drop from under the ground regardless of the consequences. And just think what that might do to the environment. So you might be wondering what my view is. Well, I'm still thinking about it. It's a tough one. Have you made up your mind yet?